Recorded live from Orlando, Florida and Nashville, Tennessee, you're listening to The Dapper Danielle Show, starring Ian Wilson, Clarence Kelly. And now, here's your host, the one and only, The Dapper Danielle.
And welcome back to The Dapper Danielle Show. I am your host, The Dapper Danielle, and I am joined by Ian Wilson and Clarence Kelly, my brothers, located in Nashville, Tennessee, while I'm coming to you live from here in Orlando, Florida, just outside of Walt Disney World property. I don't know why I went so formal with this opening.
That really was the most,
and also live too. I love the fact that someone will be hearing this on Tuesday, thinking, "Wow, live production right now."
You know,
No.
it is fine.
It is recorded live.
It is recorded live every time. We are not AI generated. We have not recently signed an agreement with the Walt Disney Company.
And we'll get into that in a little bit.
But maybe before we get to the future of Danielle, Clarence, and Ian AI, what are they called? Like surrogates, floating around on the internet. We can talk about some other noteworthy news. And in the spirit of fancy introductions and very formal announcements, Danielle, what recently transpired?
Okay, do you want me to talk about the news section first or a personal thing that just recently transpired that, Ian, I don't even think you know about just yet?
Well, I should know.
Hold on. I realized I did
intrigued.
not have it in reach.
I don't know what this is.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Ready. Where's mine?
For those that don't know, or you're listening to the podcast recording version of this,
Hold it in front of your face, because the way this is going to appear on camera is it's going to be out of shot. So hold it in front of your face for a second.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like a very limited preview. Wow.
There it is.
Wow.
Look
It
at
is.
that.
It is our author copy of I Love Epcot. It literally just arrived for our listeners. This is your ASMR. Right? So I have it right here in my hands.
That's fresh right there.
And when I tell you, this just showed up on my door. I didn't even realize this was arriving. I thought it was like a Christmas present that I ordered for one of y'all, and I'm like, I don't have anything arriving. Why is it here already? And I was like, oh wait a second. And I picked it up and I was like, oh no, this is a book. We just I think we said it, we're less than 3-4 weeks out now from release date for I Love Epcot. We just got our author copies. I'll have to investigate why Ian does not have his copy just yet, because he's also co-author.
Okay, honestly, it could be at our door right now, because I've been like, we normally have like the UPS or USPS like auto delivery thing where it like will show like, oh, okay, yeah, your package coming or whatever. But Jacqueline's been ordering several Christmas presents for me recently, and so USPS has been like strictly off limits. So it's very possible that it's at my front door right now, because I think there were a couple of things that were like, had the email saying like we're delivered, but I'm like, oh, just delete, like don't even look, because like you can't spoil Christmas. So it's possible it's there. So if it is, I'll go find it right after this and be excited about it. But that's pretty cool. I didn't realize they were out yet.
It honestly, I did not realize on the very front cover, y'all, it is like this metallic sheen on the I Love Epcot part of it, and it looks so much better in person than I thought it would.
That looks really nice. That's pretty. I like that more than the Magic Kingdom cover. I think it's better.
I'm not going to lie. I do too.
I held both of them up and I filmed a video. By the time this episode releases, I will have finally posted the video, but I did record an unboxing video, and putting them both side by side together, I got a little emotional about it, not gonna lie. And it was such a cool moment. So I wanted to start off that as like hey, this is our personal news. This is what's going on with us.
That's so cool.
It's making it a little more real. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
January 6th is when it releases. Order today. SimonandSchuster.com or Amazon or wherever you buy books.
Yes. Or even if you are not a physical book person, it is currently available for pre-order also on like Audible. It is me recording and reading this book to you. The Magic Kingdom one is already out. You can also get the Magic Kingdom copy through wherever you get your books. It's even on TikTok Shop. It's linked on my page if you want to get through TikTok Shop and you have credits to use up before the end of the year. Do that. Yeah.
Perfect. Amazing.
Thank you.
That's so fun. Yeah, I didn't even realize you got that.
Literally, it happened last night. I I was running around like a chicken. Yesterday was my day to get all my stuff done because it's been Dapper Day, Megan here, event here, all this other stuff. And then finally yesterday was my one day of not having, well, I had a lot to do, but running around, went grocery shopping, got all these different things, came home. I actually washed my car. I cleaned it out because it's just been piling up random stuff from after each event, and cleaned it all out, vacuumed it out. And so it's like, where was I going with this? The
busy time, basically.
It's just been busy time. Yes. Goodness.
Well, speaking of yesterday, we are recording this December 12th, and yesterday was the Game Awards.
It was!
Which I was interested in.
I was interested in too because Miss Piggy was present.
Yes, I thought that was so funny. There was even a song that they were both singing. Also, Statler and Waldorf were there too.
Well, Statler and Waldorf were there the year before.
Were they?
And they were a smash hit. Okay. Everybody loved them. And then I think everybody's like, oh, well, we can bring the old guys back, but why don't we also bring Miss Piggy back too? And Rolf, which I think is so interesting. Okay, you talk about your thing real quick, and then I will tie in my Muppet history on why I think that is so intriguing.
Well, I'll just go over some of like the winners. Really, the standout for last night was this game called Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which is an indie game. I have never heard of it.
Really?
And it won like multiple categories.
So is it now jumped up on the #1 downloaded game now because now everybody knows about it?
Probably.
Sure.
I'm just like really had never heard of this game, and it is now it won. Let's see, Game of the Year, Best Art Direction or Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Best Score and Music, Best Performance, Best Independent Game, Best Debut Indie Game. It's Best RPG. Yeah, it won a bunch of categories, which I was very surprised by. Also, just because we're doing content creation, Content Creator of the Year was Moist Critical.
Did you see his video? He was the one that he didn't want to win, right?
Oh, really?
I think so. He has a beard and longer dark hair, right?
Yeah, he's the long dark hair. His name's Charlie. He has long dark hair, beard. Always wears a white T-shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he posted a video. Hold on. Make sure that is who. Yes. So Moist Critical. This is what I saw on my side of social media. Is that he streamed himself during the thing, and he's like, anybody but me, and he didn't want to win. Oh. He wanted somebody else to win because he felt like other people were more deserving, and he even threw his like support into the hat for Barley, the cooking furry streamer.
Barley's not on this. Wasn't nominated though for Content Creator.
He was present for something though.
Okay. I don't know who that is, but yeah, because it was Kadril, Kai Sanat, Sakura Miko, The Burnt Peanut, and Moist Critical. I would have wanted The Burnt Peanut to win because I like The Burnt Peanut. He is a VTuber. He literally is just a peanut with eyes and a mouth. And he streams, I think, Arc Raiders, and he's just really funny. He won VTuber of the Year this year at the Streamy Awards. And I think... And it made all of the other like anime VTubers really mad.
Because there's so many anime VTubers.
Yeah, and they lost to a peanut. And he even says, he's like, I'm not a VTuber, I'm a P-tuber. He's like, sorry you got the category wrong, but yeah.
I don't fall into this category.
I would have loved for him to have won Content
That is
Creator.
hard because there's like so many different genres also within the streamers. Like, are they cozy streamers? Are they horror streamers? Do they do like Battlefront games? So to kind of lump everybody into one, I can see where that's a little difficult.
Yeah, I guess. But the thing I am most excited about that was announced last night were 2 new Star Wars games. One of them is called Star Wars Racers, which is
pod racing game.
I don't know if it's pod racing. It looks like it could be other vehicles as well. But I do think pod racing will be in it. But the one I am most excited about is Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic, which is a spiritual successor to the Knights of the Old Republic games, which are two of the best video games ever made.
I saw that. That looks pretty good.
I loved watching you play it because you used to play that on the original Xbox.
Yes, they are old, and I go back and play them regularly because they are so good. Probably the best utilization of the Star Wars IP outside of the movies.
Clarence, if you really think about it, you were the first streamer I ever watched because I loved, like when we were younger and you were playing on the Xbox, I loved watching you play the Star Wars game. And then also when you played Batman Arkham later on, I loved watching you play that, which is funny because then I'm like looking back and I'm like, so now people don't have siblings to watch them play video games and they have to go find other people on the internet to watch them play video games.
It's true. Sad but true. I'm amazed that you didn't bring up the Free Shepherd announcement. I feel like that is another
think
one
it looks
that
cute.
Looks enjoyable to mindlessly play for a couple of hours.
Yeah,
Is it the little sheep game? And it's like just a world building thing. There's no like
a herding dog.
You're just herding
You're
sheeps.
a dog.
Sheeps all the time.
Yeah,
It is
it looks
so
fun.
funny.
It looks cute. And then of course there was a little brief snippet of the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Oh yes.
But the one I'm most excited about, Fate of the Old Republic. That's Knights of the Old Republic are two of my favorite games of all time. Two of what I'd say are some of the best written games, most compelling storylines, especially for Star Wars. So
when does it release? Is it?
I don't
next
know.
year?
I thought someone said one of them was surprisingly soon.
You know, I didn't even pay attention. I was just like, oh my gosh, new KOTOR, and
The moment you're just excited that something new's coming.
It's like,
Maybe it
how
doesn't
wonderful.
have a release date, but it is interesting. I'm just seeing in the article about it that the director of the original Knights of the Old Republic is part of the creative team for the new one as well too. So hopefully it won't be a disappointment in that case for you, Clarence. Because it's always a letdown. I feel like it's like because old games I feel like just have like different mechanics. There were different limitations that in some ways made it more fun. And you know, I know Knights of the Old Republic, part of it is the storyline and kind of the ability to kind of influence the storyline throughout it. But it's also just, I don't know. I just think there's sometimes something really fun about pulling up old games. And so it's always concerning to me when someone's like, let's reboot this franchise in modern technology. And it's like, it could go really, really bad.
I'm really intrigued to see how they do it because the combat in the original KOTOR games was turn-based, sort of like Dungeons and Dragons, and a lot of the like if you were hit was done by a digital dice roll essentially. So the computer was rolling dice behind the scenes, and it would determine like how much damage you did each turn and like how your skills worked and things like that was all very similar to like a tabletop RPG. So I'm very intrigued to see what they decide to do, if they keep those like turn-based mechanics or if they move more into like a Skyrim type combat.
I feel like they might keep the turn-based ones because I was actually seeing too that Expedition 33 is based partially on like has like some turn-based mechanics kind of similar to that in the fighting. So I feel like if I was developing an old franchise that utilized that and then the game of the year just won with that, I'd be like, okay, well, this is obviously still relevant in 2025, 2026, 2027, whenever it comes out. And I feel like, I mean, Skyrim, obviously you have some like slowdown, you know, in the attacks and stuff. But I think everyone's kind of like Fortnite, Call of Duty, Battlefield, they've got it locked as far as like reaction-based gamified gaming, just play the odds, fight, and you know, hype yourself up on as many energy drinks as possible and have your thumbs
I'm just over here playing Dreamlight Valley. That's what I'm doing.
yeah, exactly. But I feel like that's it. It's like the average, there's a lot of people I think that are kind of left out of that, of like, man, if I don't play Call of Duty for like 6 hours a day for a week straight, I can't compete with like half of the people online playing that. And so it's just, I would play something different or play a different style. So I feel like, kind of having something in place that limits some of that like reaction based, just purely like you had 6 pre-workouts and I had none, and so you killed me in that room, is always a good thing for video games in the modern world. I think to have everyone have a little bit more of an equal chance of being able to win, or just utilize their characters well, and I don't know, just make that gameplay more fun, as opposed to just this character is not a great character but kind of just was able to brute force win the battle because the player behind it is just using a mod, or just really twitchy or something. I don't know, whatever it is. So anyways, it'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to see your reaction to it, Clarence.
The Dapper Danielle Show will be right back after these messages.
My Muppets connection to it that I mentioned in the very beginning that I was most excited for, and what I found the most amusing from the history standpoint, because I look at things, right, and I'm just like, interesting, this has a historical context, whether they meant it or not, right? So the fact that Rolf was present, Rolf being there at the Game Awards and like talking about like streaming and like this big social media thing, like being in the forefront of modern culture. Rolf was that in the 60s. And he actually has some of the longest running history out of many of the Muppets. He was originally created for a Purina dog chow commercial, and then became a regular sidekick on the Jimmy Dean show, and was like a regular, and wasn't on there just for like a quick little like 60-second blurb. He was on there for a good almost 7 minutes or so per episode, and would have regular conversations with Jimmy Dean. And that was until, 1963 to 1966. He was a regular appearance for over 3 years on every episode.
My goodness.
And because of the success of Rolf, Jim Henson was able to take that money and put it towards the Muppets, and really helped create Kermit and really flesh out Miss Piggy and the rest of everybody else.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Isn't that crazy?
I had no idea.
I just thought it was culturally cool to be like, oh wow, you literally brought like Statler and Waldorf. They're the literal old dudes. Rolf is the OG of the media and social media world.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah. In other news that is not so positive as the Game Awards last night, I have gotten a lot of questions, and I will go ahead and start acknowledging this. I have not made a video talking about this online just yet, but I'll start talking and having that conversation here. We've talked a lot here in recent episodes about the
how
use
Michigan
of AI.
fired their football coach. Yep. Heartbreaking.
What? What'd you say?
Sharon Moore is no longer at the University of Michigan. We've talked a lot about it. Are
you saying? No, I'm
hijacking.
I'm hearing about it because yay sports. But like, what?
Nothing. I'm hijacking.
It's irrelevant. It's just the Michigan coach.
I was just doing a bit. He was fired. Good riddance. Go Blue.
Wow. Anyway,
I do feel like in our recent discussions, thinking back on our last episode, which if you didn't hear, we got into a little bit of an AI rant against the recent McDonald's commercial in the Netherlands. But we were talking about how Morgan & Morgan used AI in one of their billboards that Danielle drove by. And I realized kind of in retrospect that I really missed an opportunity in the holiday season to have like Danielle as this like tormented person in the Christmas spirit from the ghosts of Christmas past, Morgan & Morgan, instead of Marley and Marley, and singing their song, "We're Morgan & Morgan." Ooh. So I just thought I needed to like share that in retrospect as like a not always a verbal process or kind of a mental processor. Sometimes it just comes to you later of like, Morgan
this
and
would have
Morgan.
been a really funny joke if I could have thought of it in the moment, and I missed out.
Exactly. And now Bob Iger is going to be tormented this Christmas by the ghosts of AI past who are going to warn him about the dangers of losing fans because of the use of AI. And they're going to show up as Morgan & Morgan.
Yeah, which we've not even said what happened yet.
I know, but I kind of like just building the suspense at this point. I mean,
Honestly,
it's not Michigan. It's not a video game. It's not Morgan and Morgan. It's not the Netherlands AI.
It's Disney and OpenAI.
Yeah.
Yes, y'all, it has finally happened. Originally, when Sora started using Disney intellectual products, whenever you hear the word IP, it's intellectual property or intellectual products, right? So Sora was using it. Disney ended up actually suing them, and now they're in the same bed together now. They've decided that they've made amends, and they are moving forward with a 3-year licensing agreement. As part of this 3-year licensing agreement, Sora will be able to generate short, user-prompted social videos that can be viewed and shared by fans, drawing on more than 200 Disney, Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars characters. Agreement will make a section of these fan-inspired Sora short-form videos available to stream on Disney+. Disney and OpenAI affirm a shared commitment to responsible use of AI that protects the safety of users and the rights of creators.
Thank you for that shared commitment. We really appreciate that. That
means
nothing.
Literally means nothing.
Literally nothing. I love
my
to.
gosh.
It is so funny to me because Disney sues OpenAI. Oh my gosh, intellectual property theft, abuse of our people. We're just so concerned at the devaluing of our characters. We've worked so hard. Think of the children's hearts. And then, that's actually a really, really, really large check. You know, it's inevitable that AI will destroy humans, and so
not
it's
that
fine
much.
that we'll just let you use our videos. I just think it's so funny the switch of we are defending our intellectual property against the evils of the world to, well, yeah, I guess people, if they just want to use Darth Vader to make AI videos, that's fine. Whatever, not a big deal.
Well, okay, so what this makes me have so many questions, and I'll get back to some of these questions in a moment. But let me also continue some of these other points. Alongside the licensing agreement, Disney will become a major customer of OpenAI, using its APIs to build new products, tools, and experiences, including for Disney Plus and deploying ChatGPT for its employees.
Yeah.
I gotta scoot back a little bit for this, okay?
Yeah.
First off, son, you come in here earlier and you make all the employees switch over to Teams because you're worried about security for all your intellectual products, and then you're just gonna hand it over on a silver plate to AI and say, here you go, and then your employees are the ones getting in trouble for doing their jobs, and then you're just no, you're literally going against everything that you set up in the past 5 years by saying yes to this. Everything that you made all of your office people switch over to, your animation studio switch over to, your live action studio people. By agreeing to this, you're saying, it doesn't matter. And then also by using as a social media content creator and somebody that started as a frontline cast member and actually got in trouble for talking about Disney and you shouldn't say that, you have to say you don't speak for the brand or for the company. By you saying that you're allowing anybody and everybody to speak for the brand or for the company, I should be able to get away with murder in content creation. You cannot yell at any other social media influencer for, you shouldn't be able to use our products. You gave it to everybody. That means I can use it too. Mm-hmm. Right? Am I wrong?
I think you're right for the most part. Yes.
In a roundabout way. Do you see?
I completely understand, and yes, I completely agree. It is ridiculous. It's stupid. Yeah.
This is going to blow up very fast. Yeah. And then also, from a previous cast member perspective, and how much Disney Parks specifically, I cannot speak for Disney corporate, but Disney Parks is really, really pushing being environmentally friendly. And my immediate response is, okay, so then for every Disney generated video containing a character that's Disney IP, because this is going to make Sora skyrocket, or at least that's what they're hoping for.
For sure, yeah.
What is going to be your environmental response?
Yeah, how are you offsetting your carbon footprint?
Right.
For every video that gets developed.
For every video that has a random Mickey Mouse, that has a random Darth Vader in it, what are you going to do? And then are you going to yell at your cast members and at your people, boots on the ground parks that are trying to literally change and create how we recycle, how things are being composted and destroyed and all this other stuff in the park world, and you don't care about what's going on, but you don't care because it's going online? Or and then the other thing that kills me is that after being a cast member that also worked in the backstage side of stuff, I remember working in POS front of house system support. I was part of the team that sat in trailers behind Port Orleans Riverside, and I tested the chip readers and tested the new POS technology. The POS technology that Disney World currently has, it was only purchased and bought because some higher up manager was sold to at a tech show, and the technology could not keep up with what Disney needed. At one point, the technology could only hold like so many thousands of SKUs, and SKUs being like the number associated with each piece of merchandise. The memory for that machine was less originally than 1/5 of the store.
Nice.
But Disney had
Nice.
already signed away this contract, had already said, yes, we're going to work with you. And so it kept being delayed. I think it was by 3 years, 2 or 3 years, because the company had to completely change and rewrite everything to fit into what Disney needed. And it still isn't perfect. There's still an active glitch that I know happens. So if you're in a food and beverage location, you're a cast member, do not swipe that ID, only ever scan it, or else the entire system goes down. Fun fact. And it's still active. It's still a glitch, by the way.
Yeah.
So I cannot imagine, and I imagine that Disney, whatever manager, whatever tech bro for Disney, walked in and met with these other tech bros and was sold a bill of goods, is 100% what it was. It wasn't taking into the account of the actual cast members. It wasn't taking into account of the actual animators in the studio. Or any of the management or anybody over there. This was a tech bro talking to a tech bro, yakking it up, and saying, oh yeah, dude, this is great. And being sold a bill of goods. It's going to explode, and it's going to be bad.
I do think it's not just tech bro to tech bro, because I'm pretty sure Bob Iger was active in this deal. And
But it's
was
also
a major
it's
part.
money that's out of touch.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, when I say tech bro, I mean people that are so removed from reality that they cannot comprehend. You know?
Totally. Yeah, I mean, Bob Iger is fully defending it. He says this is a great opportunity for the company to enable consumers to engage with our characters on what is probably the most modern of technology and media platforms today, Iger said in an interview on Thursday.
Yeah,
and it
tell
not
that to
only gives consumers or users an opportunity to do so, but it also is significant because in this deal, OpenAI is both respecting and valuing our creativity, both of our characters, but also those that have created those characters. So it gives us an opportunity, really, to play a part in what is really a breathtaking growth in essentially AI and a new form of media and entertainment. So Bob is fully involved. Bob, there is no coming back from this, in my opinion. I did say in a previous episode you could take the place of Michael Eisner as my favorite Disney CEO.
It's gone.
But I even if you give us our show, I don't know if it's possible.
Because we're going
You
to
know
be
what's
replaced
unfortunate
by AI.
is that by doing a show, multiple shows even, with the three of us, we would have less of a carbon footprint would be than these AI shorts.
We would, literally.
I will say, okay, so hear me out. Devil's advocate. Let's just Let's just stir the
Devil
pot
has
here,
enough advocates
just
already.
to get okay. I will play Bob Iger's advocate because he has no advocates on this show at this time. So playing the Iger advocate, there's part of me that's like, okay, I think it is dumb. I will go on record as saying I don't think that this is. I don't really like AI. I don't think it's a great direction to move into. But on the one hand, if you know that, like it or not, your content, your characters will be out there used by people in AI generation, and you really have no way of policing it. I mean, even the government can't police it. So it's, as a single company, you're going to have an even harder time. You can sue people for sure. You might win some deals or some settlements, but those are going to take a long time. Is it better to just take whatever deal OpenAI is offering you right now for the licensing, which is probably something? And also, if you have access to buying OpenAI shares right before they're going to go public, $1 billion, that investment could easily quadruple or even go higher just in the next year or so. And so it's kind of, part of me is like, well, if it's going to happen anyway, is Disney just kind of seeing this is our opportunity to make as much money as we can off of this kind of inevitable like publicizing of intellectual property in a way that really isn't restricted before. Not saying it's right, but it is just making kind of money. I also think too, it's with all these AI companies, there's a lot of very sketchy circular investing that's going on where it's like, okay, Disney dumps in $1 billion to OpenAI for buying shares, and then OpenAI commits $500 million to buying licensing from Disney and $500 million to investing in Disney's digital studios. And then Disney takes that money, and it's all just kind of like weird book balancing, hypes up the investors for both people because everyone sees it as, wow, OpenAI gets $1 billion, and then a year later Disney's getting $1 billion. This must be so great. But really it's all just the same money kind of zooming around, helping all these companies get bigger. So I don't know. I do think a lot of these AI companies are just these weird kind of accelerant machines right now for other companies to help kind of boost their prospects in the world. I think people are kind of seeing that as ways to become just more established. So from a business standpoint, I feel like it is kind of just like they're trying to make hay while the sun's shining, basically, kind of, which makes sense.
If you can't beat them, join them is the mentality.
Essentially, and make as much money as possible in the meantime, which is fine. But I do think from an artistic standpoint, it is not a good move. And I think the whole AI as in general and art just does not go well together at all. And so it's a little disappointing, I think, to see a big, advocate of art, a company that has a lot of history in the arts, kind of taking a step towards something that is really, really bad for the arts just in general. So I don't know. There's a lot of like things where I'm like, yeah, I see why Disney does it, because it's expensive to develop like a chatbot for your cruise line so that your guests can say, I need towels in my room. Can someone send it to me? If OpenAI gives you the software to plug and play that next year, and you can replace your other contract that you're probably paying $1 million for anyways, great. You replace 10 contracts, you're making a lot of money here already with this deal. So business standpoint makes sense, but artistically I don't love it.
Artistically doesn't. And I think what clicked for me is I realized, Clarence, what's the public domain rule? How many years is it?
Life plus 70, I believe.
Life plus 70?
Might be 75. Yeah. For like when something enters the public domain.
When something enters the public domain.
Yeah, it's the life of the creator plus 70.
Okay.
However, everything generated by AI falls under public domain.
Okay.
There is no copyright. There is nothing copyrightable under AI
So
generation.
does that mean 200 characters just went into public domain?
No. It doesn't mean...
But who's to argue? Who's to say, as a fan artist, I use my reference. I didn't use my reference from the original. My reference comes from the OpenAI source.
I think...
I just see it getting really muddy in court.
But I think it's all licensing. It's like, okay, OpenAI can use it on their platform and make money off of it and, advertising or whatever. Even if they're not selling the video or whatever, it can be licensed to that platform. But you, Danielle, take an OpenAI video even, post it on your site, and now try to make money off of that. Now I feel like you're almost like could get sued by both Disney and by OpenAI because you don't have a license for the character and you don't have a license from OpenAI to make money off of their licensed video of the person. I feel like you have to think of it as less of like it's entering the public domain and more of it's entering like a crowdsourced production studio. Like if like these production studios that are popping up in Walmart, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, if you can all of a sudden use a kind of, what's it called when you do the animation, you have them on the strings, you
marionette?
Puppeteering?
No. When you're animating something and you make it so that you can move it or whatever,
rigging?
Rigging, yeah. When you complete the rigging, like if you had rigged Disney characters in a public studio that you could use to create short films but not sell those films, you wouldn't all of a sudden assume that, well, that character's mine. Like I built the Elsa and Anna story of Anna's third birthday party that I made in this weird Walmart studio or something. It's like, well, no, like that's not.
But that's what McDonald's is claiming. They're claiming that they created their stuff because they entered in prompts.
Yeah, but
so like the line of creation becomes blurred.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I feel like if you were arguing it to a court, they would just be like, yeah, sorry, you're just trying to rip off something that's already there.
The court doesn't even know how Wi-Fi works, let alone how AI works. What do we expect?
Yeah, so the court there is precedent already in the court that you cannot copyright what you have made with AI. There are people who have tried to register trademarks and copyrights for their creations with the U.S. court, and it has been rejected thus far. As far as I'm aware, maybe there is a new case that has come into play that I've not seen yet. But for the most part, anything generated by AI is not copyrightable. So, like, in theory, if you create a logo...
So that's why you can create stuff as a fan, and Disney Plus owns the rights to it and can choose to post it on Disney Plus or not.
So Disney Plus owns the characters, but the content that's created, that's where it gets messy, is that the content itself is not copyrightable. Nobody owns it. However,
can they
the
profit
characters,
off of it if you stream it?
Anybody can profit
These are the
off it.
questions
That's the question. So because the character is owned by another company, where does that fall? And I'm not a lawyer. This is just kind of what I've gathered from working in the music industry and knowing a little bit about how copyright law works, and like public domain and things like that. So like even with OpenAI doesn't necessarily own what it generates. They own the thing that is generating it. So if that makes sense. So it owns the AI itself. It owns the software. It doesn't own the images that it's spitting out, and it doesn't own like what it's saying. I think that's where it's really gonna get messy, and ultimately it's up to a court to decide what that works, and that's just gonna come down to who the judge is.
I do think this is also Disney's way of holding on to and getting the last bit of money out of Mickey Mouse, because the next coloration version of Mickey goes into public domain here in the next like 2-3 years, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. And then Sorcerer Mickey goes into public domain here soon too, I thought, with Fantasia. I think so. I probably did my math wrong, but I think that's the next big one.
I think the thing with Mickey Mouse is while the copyright may fall into public domain, Disney still has the trademark. So for the character, and the trademark is renewed every time the character is reused. That's why Disney goes back and makes new Mickey Mouse content so regularly, so that they keep that trademark.
Styles.
Yes, and so like for a while it was Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and then it was the Mickey Mouse Shorts, and like even though Steamboat Willie and Mickey Mouse technically has fallen into the public domain, the character of Mickey Mouse is still trademarked and protected by Disney. However, the short Steamboat Willie and anything that appears in that falls into public domain. So you can distribute the Steamboat Willie short and make money off of it without paying royalties. It is very confusing. It is whole can of worms.
I'm so glad we're having this conversation because I feel like nobody knows these things, and that's why I wanted to talk about this on the show, so you could explain this, Clarence, and kind of re-educate people like me that are just so up in arms about this. And I mean I still am. Don't get me wrong. I am still very much up in arms about this, but. And then Ian, giving your perspective also from the business side, because y'all did not know, I don't know if we've talked about this actually. Ian, it works in analytics for these giant major companies, right? And goes through and finds this information, this data, and presents it to them of like, hey, this is why your things aren't being delivered. This is why you're having a delay in resources from over here. He finds all that information. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ian.
Yeah, Bob Iger, he called me, had a phone call. I said, it's a very bad idea. I don't like it. It's very, very bad. Very, very bad. He did it anyways. Now, repercussions are coming.
I said, Bobby.
Guys, we cannot have 2 episodes in a row with bad Trump impressions.
I have a lot of respect for you, Bob. Bob, I have a lot of respect for you, but you cannot do this thing. It's a very, very bad thing. Very bad.
Oh my goodness. Anyway.
That was exactly what happened several months ago. I had a call, and
Ian had a call with Bob.
Well, anyway, but thank you both. I really do appreciate your insight on this matter. Is what I really wanted to say before you guys ruined the vibe.
Disney ruined the vibe. We didn't.
I mean, accurate. You made light of it. It's fine. Overall, I'm not okay with it. We will see what happens. I do feel like this will have a weird trickle effect. If anything, cast members that are within the company in multiple different lines of business have more questions than they do answers. And I think that's my issue, is that my heart goes to the cast first and the people that work under these decisions and are the ones now having to work around and with these decisions.
I'm just going to say, too, like, haters gonna hate, but creators, you gotta create. And I feel like things like this happen, and it's not the end of the world. I mean, I feel like everyone says every time something big with AI happens, it's like, oh my gosh, we're just going, like, the world is falling apart. How could we live in such a time? I just feel like, in all honesty, there is going to come a time in the not too distant future where we are going to be so oversaturated with computer generated content that is just bad. And even if it's looks real, had they figured out the weird morphine gimmicks that have happened and the hallucinations, even if they figure out those things, I just think people are going to start paying and valuing the human creation, and especially the human creation that they can verify. So they can go watch an artist paint and buy that painting or have that paint in their house. They can watch someone, sing a song, be on stage, and they know this is real. This is not an AI generated image. So I just feel like, as like a little encouragement to everyone out there that feels like this is doomsday knowledge, it is not the end of the world. And if you feel like you need to create and make something in the world, you need to keep doing it, even if it feels like there is a computer out there that can do it better than you or faster than you, because it's a computer, it's not a human. And I think humans like humans. So keep creating, and this will not be the last day on Earth for humanity.
Yes.
Well said.
Well said, Ian. Well said. Because, like, what I love this year is that a lot of the artists that I follow that are going to be at, like, Epcot Festival of the Arts, they've been showcasing their behind the scenes and how they've painted and created these things. And this is the first year where I have really felt so excited, because I get to see the behind the scenes and seeing them actually paint and their workstation and all the layers that went into creating some of these paintings. And I'm like, this endears me even more so to this artist and wanting to see it. So that is something I am very, very excited by. So yes, thank you, Ian. That was very well said.
The Dapper Danielle Show will be right back after these messages.
In other positive news, and having a more real human interaction and taking care of others this holiday season, Cole and I had the awesome opportunity to go and help out and sort toys that were donated for Toys for Tots.
Awesome.
And
Cole being Bibbidi Bobbidi Beard, for people
yes,
who don't know.
Bibbidi Bobbidi Beard.
Blind box beard is what I call him now, but yeah.
Blind box beard. That's perfect.
I mean, that's accurate too. Cole actually got reached out by Disney, and he's like, Danielle, you need to come with me too. And I'm like, okay, see if they'll let me join you. And so he sent a message and like, yes, no, absolutely, bring Danielle. And so I ended up going as Cole's +1, and we showed up at ESPN Wide World of Sports, and there were thousands of toys stacked up in these boxes. And they allotted there was a lot of cast members that came out and volunteered their time and their efforts to be able to help organize these toys. And they said, hopefully we'll be able to get this done in just about 2 hours. When I tell you the human efficiency of a cast member, that it is ingrained into their being of the 5 keys, which is safety, courtesy, show, efficiency, and inclusivity in the center. Efficiency is one of those keys. We did everything in 30 minutes.
Amazing.
And all these toys were organized, and they're just like, well, I guess we're done now. And they had the Marines there also. And the Marine, he, like, one of those things of, like, he is so Army minded. And so talking in front of normal people, he's just like, well, our mission was completed a little faster than we expected. And I loved how he kept saying the word mission. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, because for these Marines, this is their mission. This is what they've been tasked to do, and they're going to accomplish their mission. And I love that so much. And he kept saying it over and over again. I'm like, yeah, it's a mission. I love this. This is code toys and code Christmas. And so that was a really great experience. But I wanted to share a fun fact actually about this, and I taught this to Cole, is that Toys for Tots. In 1948, Walt Disney personally designed the original Toys for Tots logo, with a little train and the 2 little train cars behind it, which is still used today. It is the official logo of Toys for Tots. Mr. Disney also designed the first poster ever created for the campaign in 1956, and it featured Donald Duck dressed as Santa Claus driving the Toys for Tots train logo. And ever since then, Disney cast members... I want to say since Disney World opened, just about, has done something with Toys for Tots, has done toy drives. And if you saw the toys drop boxes over in World of Disney, you could drop those little toys in there. They did go to real places. Those toys did not get recycled back onto the shelves. The cast members take a lot of pride in these, and they take those toys and they immediately box them up and send them over to ESPN to go to the Marines. And it's not too late to donate if you would still like to participate. I believe the Disney World toy tot drop boxes have already closed, but you can still drop them in other locations too, around Central Florida or wherever you're at home. Each state is different for each different unit of when they are doing their toy pickup sessions, so you can still donate. Or even if you donate late, maybe you get something for Christmas that you're just like, I'm not going to use this, but I know some 12-year-old will love this. You can also still donate it, and they take additional toys and they put it in their warehouse facilities. And so in case there is like a natural disaster or something happens, they can go into these warehouses and they can pull from their backlog, I guess you can say, of toys to be able to bring out in case of emergencies.
Mm-hmm. Just laughing at trying to think about like what overlap my Christmas presents would have with the 12-year-old's interests.
We saw
I feel like a rolling pin, like some baking goods. I'm like, yeah.
We had a mini donut maker. We found a mini donut maker.
All right.
There was one of those.
Overlap.
What was it? It was a cereal bowl that was shaped like a football, and it had a goal post at the end of it, so you could take your cereal and try to backboard it into your cereal bowl. That's one I organized. So, like, there's some things that are better than others, but, like, maybe you're like, your mother doesn't realize, oh, hey, Mom, I'm, like, 20 years old now. I didn't need this, like, scooter that I asked for when I was, like, 10. Mm-hmm. And your mom's maybe stuck in this, and you're just like, I gotta give this away to a good cause. Some kid would really love a scooter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Very true.
definitely. I do think it's really. I did not know that Disney did the first poster and logo
Really?
for Toys for Tots. That was new information to me. And honestly, seeing the logo and that it's a train makes complete sense. Understanding Walt Disney's obsession with trains.
Well, and it's Disney understanding and wanting to support military because Walt Disney volunteered in World War One. He was a paramedic. And he lied about his age to join the military. He pretended he was a year older because his older brother Roy went off and joined the military and was fighting in World War One. So ever since that experience and that time, he has always found a way to support military families and to do these little things. And I think as he got older, his heart really went to the families and to the kids, and especially post World War II, right? So, I think that's why he really wanted to be invested and he really wanted to be involved. He and his animators created the logos that went onto the sides of airplanes in World War II. He's like, let's do something here at home, and wanted to personally have his hand in creating something for the Marines.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's so cool. Yeah, go support Toys for Tots this holiday season. Go do some what is it?
Philanthropy.
Yeah, some philanthropy. The Salvation Army does like angel givers.
Oh, Angel
every
Tree.
year. Angel Tree. That's what
Angel
it is,
Tree
and it's with Walmart.
Shows
Go
that
do
you haven't
that.
been on TikTok. That's gone viral.
I really do not look at TikTok very much, but Angel Tree is great. Go do that. Go buy gifts for people.
People have started recording. So a couple of big creators started recording their Angel Tree pickings that they did, and those videos went mega viral. So then everybody wanted to get involved, and some places have completely gone through all their angel trees. But
That's wonderful.
But some locations, though, if you are in the middle of nowhere, they still have kids that have requested things, but their angel might still be sitting on the tree and they're not being fulfilled. So if you do see that, just because it's going viral, don't just assume that everybody's being taken care of. That is a more individualized experience, where Toys for Tots is the parents come in and pick up what they think their kid would want. Where Angel Tree, you are picking out for that child and presenting it as Santa, basically.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of opportunities to give this in this season, and I think you should, if you can afford to and you have extra, give it to someone that doesn't have it, that can't afford it. I think that's a great way to help your community and just give back, and yeah, and it feels good to do it.
It does.
You know,
it really does.
Selfishly, it feels great.
It does. Well, with the whole, so the reason, now let's get into our main topic. Now that we've had a lot of discussion about AI and about Toys for Tots.
50 minutes into this episode already.
50 minutes into this episode. I'll try to keep this short and brief for y'all, but
We
this
did
is
15 minutes per news topic we had today, basically.
Yeah, basically. But this main subject I really want to talk about, because I've gotten so many questions about it, was Osborne's spectacle of the dancing lights. And speaking of TikTok and talking about how Angel Tree went viral, I wanted to talk about this because videos have gone viral of the younger generation looking up and realizing what this once was and what used to take place in Hollywood studios. And they're like, wait, this was a thing? And this got taken away from us? What is this? Blah, blah, blah. And so I want to go into some history about it, because I think a lot of people do know this history. It is ingrained in their soul and their spirit, because this was their holiday thing for over 21 years in Disney World. And others just simply don't know, or they're just like, wait, that is a thing? Because maybe you are newer to theme park culture and you don't know this is a thing. But this all came about because while I was at ESPN, I looked back and I saw that they had recycled the giant Coca-Cola bottle props that were located in the back streets of America. And that's where the Osborne spectacle of the dancing lights took place. So if you did not know this history, I'll go through a couple of these things. The Osbornes were a real family. They were a real family. The main dad was a noted philanthropist throughout Arkansas and beyond, and regularly hosted charity events. Well, one day, his daughter, Allison, named Breezy, asked him to decorate their Little Rock home with lights. His initial 1,000 light investment proved to be just the first flicker in an enormous illuminated Christmas journey. Well, over the next 7 years, that little couple of thousand lights turned into a couple thousand more, almost 100,000. It was a lot. So then by 1993, the Osborne family, with its 3 million lights, drew the attention of holiday sightseers far and wide to report on the spectacle the Osborne estate boasted. So some of these things, and some of these were located inside Hollywood studios. They were located on the top of the buildings because they were so huge. Was a giant illuminated globe, with Bethlehem and Little Rock proudly marked.
Nice. My two important spots in the world.
2 elevated carousels that rotated with lights on them. They were 70 foot tall, by the way. 80,000 light up Christmas trees and a 30,000 light canopy over the driveway. Wow. And for 35 glorious nights during the Christmas season, the Osborne family displayed was lit from sunset until midnight, right? So from about like 5 o'clock until midnight. Well, not everybody was very happy about this news, because if you look at this picture I have down here, it was right next to a 4-lane highway. Mm-hmm. And it caused several traffic jams. And so the police in Arkansas and the county are just like, no, that's not gonna fly. So 6 neighbors collaborated and filed a lawsuit against Osborne because it took them 2 hours to take trips to the local store to get groceries during the holiday season.
Wow.
So their reasoning was that emergency vehicles could not get down the street if there was an emergency. And so the Osborne family said, okay, we'll do it bigger.
That's the way to do it.
Osborne
Let's go.
was like, bet. He bought the houses on either side of his property so he could decorate them also.
I love that.
That is a power move.
That
It
is a
literally,
big
like,
time
if you
power.
have the money and you're like, this is bringing Christmas joy to people, yeah, there's traffic, but this is a once-in-a-lifetime light spectacular that nobody in the world has ever done. I'm going to do it. And so he did it. He literally did that. And, well, let's just say it didn't go so well, though, because immediately during the 1994 Christmas season, the county court ordered Osborne limit the display to 15 days. Allowing illumination only from 7 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Which is even worse, because then that brings traffic even more narrow and more people trying to come see it in a more limited amount of time. Right? Well,
So interesting.
the family was, it went even further in 1995 when the Supreme Court of Arkansas ordered his display be scaled back almost entirely. And this made national news, and it went super, super viral. Well,
So
then it
did
got...
viral. So did
Well,
it
it
actually
went
go
viral
to
in
the
newspapers, made national news headlines, right?
and then it went to the Supreme Court after that?
To the Arkansas Supreme Court.
But to the U.S. Supreme Court as well? This one, the one I'm reading says it went to both the Arkansas Supreme Court and I guess was appealed again and went to the United States Supreme Court.
Probably both.
But he was
And because it elevated that much,
Yeah.
Michael Eisner caught wind of it.
My favorite
Right.
CEO.
And so basically, it went viral enough that Walt Disney reached out, and it was actually project director John Fennell. Fennell, is that right?
John Fallon.
Fallon. He contacted Osborne and said, "Hey, brah, we know legally they're like, we don't want these lights to go to waste. You've invested so much. You've bought properties. I can't even imagine the storage facility that they probably stored all these lights in. We will help you. We want you to continue this idea. We want you to bring it to Walt Disney World in Orlando." And Osborne's like, actually, I kind of like that idea. And so it became a thing. Osborne liked the idea of his display living on, but wasn't sure how Disney would avoid the same issue he faced in Little Rock. Of course, what Osborne didn't understand was that Disney was not simply repurposing to put the lights on any old residential street, because they just said, oh yeah, we're going to put it on a residential street. And he's like, no, but that's why I can't do it on my residential street. They're like, no. Residential street is a movie set. There's no real people there. It's inside of the theme park. It's inside Disney's MGM Studios. And he's like, oh, okay, sure. So the Osborne family agreed to donate their display to Disney. Initially christened the Osborne Family Festival of Lights, the display debuted in Disney's MGM Studios in November of 1995, and it was an immediate smash hit. It continued to delight guests all the way until 2005, where it did have a brief 1 year of not having the lights up because there was construction happening for Lights, Motors, Action. It was too much of a safety hazard. They went ahead and just didn't do it for a year. But because of that time of being away for a single year, they actually were able to upgrade all the technology and all the lighting from the 1990s. And in 2006, with a partnership from Siemens introduced the dimmers and the electronic synchronization.
Yeah.
And that's what brought in the Trans-Siberian Orchestra music that everybody knows and loves. And the crazy dancing lights. And that's when it was rechristened Osborne Spectacle of the Dancing Lights.
Yeah. I think when people think of Osborne lights, they specifically think of that. The 2006 onward.
2007 era.
Yeah. Like that is what they're thinking of, like with the music playing and Carol of the Bells by Trans-Siberian Orchestra and all of the craziness going on. Not just a static display. Like dancing lights. That's what people envision.
And it was on all it's so, and then it went to, so all the trees, the globe, the angels, the hammock that were mentioned, I mentioned earlier that were at the house, were all there on the back lot. They were all there on the streets of America and on Residential Street, and it covered the entire area. Disney even expanded it even further. I can't even remember the number of how many lights were on there towards the end. But it was well over the 3 million or 30,
sure.
How many million was it?
It was 3 million when they moved it. I think at least 3 million on the house.
It was easily double, if not triple that, by the time Disney was done. Well, sadly, after 21 years of wild success, the lights were officially turned off after Bob Iger announced in August of 2015 that they were starting to make way for Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land. So both Lights, Motors, Action, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Playground, and the Streets of America were all demolished. And there was nowhere else to put the Osborne lights. So in the final performances that were scheduled for January 3rd of 2016, which I was there present for, which was amazing, Disney, in their final spectacle, they extended the final run for 3 more days in January 6th. So we were there for the last, I don't really know if I was there for the last day, but definitely one of the last 3 or 4 days. And the final 2 songs that were played that night that were synced in were Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas and the Mickey Mouse Club March Alma Mater, and where it's the Mickey Mouse Club, what is his name? I'm blanking on it, but when he says everyone see you real soon, and it's the slow MIC, was the last song that played when the lights went out. And it's so sad. But yeah. So
imagine your book coming out on the anniversary death date of Osborne.
Oh my gosh, it is the anniversary death date of Osborne Dancing Lights.
What is with January 6th? It is a wild day in
It's a
history.
very wild date.
January 6th is just not. There's just a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. I mean, I'd rather be associated with Osborne Lights than anything else. So, wow.
That's interesting.
Goodness.
Yeah, I do think it's always fascinating sometimes when Disney says something like, well, there's just no space to put this. And it's like, well, I don't know. You got a lot of land. You got a lot of buildings. Like there is somewhere else. But I think some of it is just, by 2015, it's lost probably a lot of connection with like, well, who is the Osborne family? Like in the 90s, I feel like everyone would have been like, this is so cool. Like the Osbornes are like an American icon because they're like creating this very American light display on their house. It's like the epitome of all these like Christmas movies of powering up the giant light display. It's like they're the real life version of that. So it makes sense that they're in someplace like Hollywood Studios where it's like the roads of America here are like being represented in Hollywood Studios. So I can see sort of the like, but I also feel like it's something where I'm like, okay, but also like France now with their kind of like Main Street and their light display kind of coming down and illuminating the sides and stuff. It's like, yeah, it feels like there could have been space for this. Maybe even Main Street USA and Magic Kingdom would have been like, to me, a really natural spot to put some of this. And of course,
I mean, it wouldn't match with the Victorian feel though of Main Street, like for storytelling.
Yeah, I mean, it's not period correct for sure, undoubtedly.
But this residential street and backlot were created and designed to look like a 90s New York in San Francisco. Yeah, so like it made sense.
Yeah, so it's just interesting. I don't know. I'm always like, oh, that doesn't seem like the right excuse. Like I feel like you should just say, I'm sorry, it's been here too long. We need it to go. It's like, okay, that's fine. But when it's like, yeah, there's no space. It's like, well, okay. I don't know. I think there's some space somewhere in Disney World.
We can find the space. We know there's a way to do it.
Yeah.
But yes.
This isn't Disneyland, okay? There's some space somewhere there.
I feel like Disneyland honestly really could have benefited from Osborne lights.
Or Disney Springs would have been another really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Like, parking in Disney Springs is already bad enough as it is. Could you imagine bringing Osborne lights to Disney Springs?
Listen, let's just go big or go home. I mean, I don't know.
I just drones there temporarily, and that created problems.
There are spots where Disney could have tucked it and made it work, basically.
Or broken it up, added little things to certain places.
Yeah. But it is cool. I mean, a very cool display at Disney while it was there. Definitely something. It kind of reminds me too of like the Starlight Parade right now too, where it's like people just like not realizing what their parents or even they had as like younger people at the parks, and then all of a sudden kind of realizing like, wait, this was actually really cool. Like we should do more of this. Right. Disney's like, we're gonna do AI instead for your generation. Sorry.
Yeah. A touchy subject. Anyway.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Yeah, I don't know. He's not helping us case right now in our arguments for this episode. Well, y'all, we do want to go ahead and say thank you so much for listening this far into this episode. I really appreciate it. I know Clarence and Ian do too. We've already mentioned it actually just now. You can go ahead and get or pre-order I Love Epcot. It'll be available here very, very soon, January 6th, the anniversary of the closing of Osborne Spectacle of Lights. And you'll never forget that now. It's a release of both of those. So go check that out again, or maybe go ahead and purchase the Magic Kingdom books. That way it helps with my numbers. If you don't have it, just help my numbers here at the end of the year so I finish off strong. And Adams Media is like, yeah, we'll keep working with Danielle. She's cool. And I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, pre-order it because of something that people don't realize is pre-orders really help boost first week numbers. Yes. Because pre-order numbers, I believe it's the same for books, at least this is how it worked in music. Pre-order numbers are lumped into first week sales. Yes. So even if the pre-order was going for 6 months before the book came out, all of those are lumped into the first week sales, and that can throw your book to the top of the charts and get way more eyes on it. So if you haven't pre-ordered it, please pre-order it. Pre-order another copy for a family member. Buy it for your friends. Buy one for your dog. Buy one for your hamster. Like make them read it.
You know what's funny is that I had one lady. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name, but I actually met her. She bought 2 of the Magic Kingdom books, and I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, because I have one that, it was actually one of the first signings that we did, Ian. She bought 2 for herself, and she had us sign both of them. But one, she ended up putting in like a plastic sleeve immediately. And it's because this one goes on her collector shelf. And the other one goes in her lounge fly to bring in the park. And I was so honored by that. I was just like, thank you. I really appreciate it. That's amazing. And yes, y'all, these are small enough to fit in a mini backpack. You can just slide them in there, which is great. And I did ask the publisher, like, that was the first questions when we got into the original deal with Magic Kingdom. I was like, how big is the book going to be? Is it small enough to fit into a miniature backpack? And they're just like, is that a thing? And I was like, yes, it is. For my people, it is. And that was like a big thing when moving forward with the rest of this collection. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I
very
was going
exciting.
to say, too, are we recording any more this year, or should we talk about future plans kind of for the podcast, let our listeners know kind of what we're thinking?
Yes.
I do believe we're planning at minimum one more episode after Christmas.
Yes. So this episode
that
is going to
we-
be releasing. When is this one releasing?
This
The
one
16th?
should release the 16th. And then we could record another one for the 23rd, but I think with Christmas and everything going on, maybe we forego an episode
really-
on the 23rd.
We're really not sure, y'all, because of my schedule. We don't know when I'm flying up there to meet up with them. So I think we were talking about doing another in-person episode.
Yes,
And-
for the 30th.
Yeah.
So
maybe
after Christmas, before New
post-Christmas
Year's.
reaction episode.
Yeah, so to give a little bit of idea of what we're doing, the 30th will be the last episode of season 1 of this show, and we will be taking some time at the beginning of the year to go over what we did, what we liked, what we didn't like, what really caught people's attention, what didn't really land great, and kind of reformat things and really plan out what we want to do for season 2 now that we've kind of got our sea legs and everything when it comes to podcasting. So
But this also means we want to hear from you in the meantime. We want to know
Yes.
into the new year, what are things that you liked us talking about? What are things that you're just like, okay, this was okay, but I want to hear more about this? Send us a message over at podcast@thedapperdanielle.com so we can go through, read those, listen. We're going through your comments. As if you're listening to this recording, leave us a comment wherever you listen to. Or even on YouTube, leave a comment over here on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. And I have some other content that I will be posting also on YouTube in the meantime. So don't worry, y'all. Even though the podcast will be pausing just for a couple of weeks, the Dapper Danielle ain't going anywhere. I'm still posting almost every single day.
and we are fully planning on doing a season 2.
Yes.
And we have not decided when that will launch, but we will make an announcement when we do that. And
Some of
so-
this is also because Clarence just got another job. Congratulations!
Yes, thank you. I actually just accepted a new position today as we are recording this.
And y'all, when I tell you this has been something for our family of Clarence has gone through so many interviews, and like the interview process has been long and extensive, and we need Clarence just to enjoy it here towards the end of the new year. Just take it all in, get comfortable in the new role, and then we can focus back on the podcast. Since Clarence is my one of my producers on this show and really helps edit and put this up, I want to make sure he's comfortable
Yeah,
so he can help me
I've been
selfishly.
freelancing like crazy this year as a designer, and then doing stuff like this and podcast production, and so yeah, starting next year I will be, except I'm starting a new role, so my schedule is going to change quite a bit. Yeah, but it's all very exciting. It's all very good news.
Fun things in the new year, y'all. It's very exciting, and some more fun opportunities with me and Ian are also going to be happening here very soon. We'll be able to talk about those here in the coming weeks also. So we're excited. We'll be back because we have to talk about also when the signings are happening. So that's also kind of it too, is that in the first weeks of January, me and Ian are going to be doing book signings. And we're not going to have a normal schedule still. And then we will get into it, and we'll be back into the recording studio. So, again, y'all, thank you so much for being here. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for following along this entire season, for listening to my random Disney things in the middle of the night that you probably don't care about, but I'm going to tell you anyway, and any other weird conversation in between. We do genuinely appreciate it. So, until next time, have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and until next time, night-night, sleep tight, dream of churros tonight.